Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. Tales on the Rails, Episode 10, Murdoch Off the Dock. One day, Murdoch was pulling a 6-car load of freight. And he liked the crisp, cold air as he puffed through the countryside. Peace and quiet as well. And as he puffed into the tunnel, he didn't know what was going to happen sometime soon in the day. He charged into the tunnel. And he came out the other side to a bump in the track. Ooh, ow, he cried. And as he came out, a load spilled. His driver went back, cleaned up the hay, tipped the truck back, ran back to the cab and started the engine again, and he set off down the line. Murdoch was making good time as he headed into Vickerstown station. And then, on his line, someone was drinking and then recklessly threw his tin can onto the tracks, leaving Murdoch to bounce over it. Whoa! He cried as he shook. And he kept on racing. He tried to stop to see what had happened, but he said, "Cinders and uh-oh, sleepers and ballast," he said. My brakes have failed. As they heard a snap. He continued on and on and on, faster and faster. But he was heading straight for trouble. Donald and Douglas were carrying a freight train. But then Murdoch threw himself on the points just as Donald came onto the points. "Look out!" cried Murdoch. Donald and Douglas tried to stop, but it was too late. Murdoch crashed right into them, into Donald, and Murdoch continued on, and Murdoch raced on. He raced on. "You shouldn't have Stop being pushy," said Donald. "Don't call me pushy," said Douglas. "You shouldn't have pushed me off the rails," he said. "You pulled me, you mean," argued Douglas. "Didn't he? Did no. Did too." Before long, the twins were arguing. But it was neither of the end of Donald or Douglas's fault. It was Murdoch's fault. It was no one's fault. It was just an accident. I mean, how can you stop when your brakes are broken? Said Douglas. Said Hector. "That is true," said Douglas. But the twins came down arguing. "Oh, bother," said Hector. And meanwhile, Murdoch was flying down the line when suddenly Ryan pushed the breakdown train across Murdoch's line. "Look out!" he cried. Ryan jumped clear just in time. But as he went over the points, they were set in another direction. He went over the points, came off the track, and ended up in a pond with the trucks flying on into him. And then his tender fell. Suddenly, there was a load of hay fell on Murdoch. Pluck, pluck, he said, spitting out the hay. News of the accident soon reached the sheds, and Ryan brought the breakdown train to help him. He fished 2 cars out, and then he fished Murdoch out. He was badly damaged and would certainly have to go to the steamworks. I'll come back for the crane later, he said. He left the workmen behind to fix up the broken cars, and he pushed the Murdoch all the way to the steamworks. The news spread rapidly around the island. "Did you all hear the news?" said Henry. "What news?" asked James. "Murdoch had an accident," said Daisy. "Was it serious?" said Edward. "No, not really," said Daisy. And Donald and Douglas have stopped arguing now when they realised it wasn't their fault. Oh, young'un is these days, said Gordon. So what was the cause of the crash?" said Arthur. "We don't know," said Daisy. "We think it was a tin can, because someone may have been drinking at the station." "Anyway, that's besides the point," said Henry. "Anyway, I hope that Murdoch can come back safe and sound." "Yes," said the engines, and with that they waited patiently. A week later, Murdoch arrived back on the standard gauge railway. "Hey everyone," he said. "Murdoch," said the engines. "We've missed you." "Thanks," said Murdoch. "But anyway, did you find the cause of the crash?" "Yes, we did," said Edward. "I went through Vicarstown on the same line that you did, and I saw loads of tin cans on the rails. And I saw the person who chucked one. It was the same, and I think it's the same one. But the man was captured on CCTV and given a fine for littering. He was also told to clean up all the cans off the rails, which meant that line of Vicarstown would be closed. So it'd be a tight squeeze getting onto the platform," said Edward. "Yeah," said Gordon, "but here's loss." "Anyway," said Murdoch, "I'm going to go and spin on the turntable." "You can do that if you want," said the engines. "We won't stop you." "Thanks," he said. The engines backed up a bit, so they wouldn't be thrown about. And Murdoch took his tender off, remembering the last time he had spun about. He spun about, but suddenly then he came off the turntable, coupled to his tender. "I'm going to try it with a tender this time," he said. "Rock and roll, click, clack, speeding down the track. The fun just never ends." Suddenly, he got thrown off the turntable. "Oh, darn," he said. "Don't worry," said Salty. "I'm coming to help you." He lifted Murdoch back onto the rails. He said thanks, and Salty raced off. He then turned around. "You know what?" said Murdoch. "What?" said the Indians, who popped out the shed to hear. "There are some times to have fun," said Murdoch, "but you just have to know when the time is right. Because, as they say, there is a time and a place for everything." "Yes," said Arthur, "that is so true." "Yes," said Daisy, "that is so true."